It's Cricbuzz Chatter. Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan on a great day for England with the batting their second innings, reaching 9 for 389. They lead comfortably by 377. Root top scoring with 91. Big half centuries for Bairstow and Crawley. But the bombshell announcement. Stumps were called. Stuart Broad walked off the ground and said, "I want to do an interview." Went on Sky and told the world, "I'm retiring. Tomorrow, or maybe Monday, is my final day as a cricketer." Vaughanie, you've known him since his very first test match. You were there giving him his cap. Your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, I'm not that surprised, to be honest. I always felt with Stuart that, he'd want to go out against Australia. 2.5 years away till the next Ashes series down under. Will he still have been playing by then? It's a long ask to kind of continuously say to these quick bowlers, "Oh, you got 2.5 more years before you can retire," because I always felt he wanted to retire against Australia. He's been incredible for England. From the minute that he arrived in the England dressing room, I never thought he'd get 600 test match wickets and 150 against Australia, but he was slightly different. He was a real thinking bowler. As soon as he came in, he wanted to set his own fields. He was always talking about the game. He was obsessed with cricket. I always thought he was going to be an all-rounder, actually, and bat at number 6, because he was really handy with the bat. But, he epitomises everything about that England shirt for me. To play for England, you've got to be competitive. You've got to be, high in spirit. You've got to want to win. But you also play with a smile and you have a bit of fun at times. And I think Stuart has achieved that. And also over his career, the last 16 years, every time there's been a little bit of controversy or a little bit of something happening out in the middle, Stuart Broad's pretty much always been around, which again I like. I like that kind of edge that he has, and the fact that he reviews everything. Everything is always out with Stuart Broad, or it's not out when he bats. There's so many highlights in his career. He's been a colossal member of the England side, and that partnership with Jimmy Anderson, the Oval on day 4 will be rocking. First and foremost, when they both walk out to bat. Yeah. So that's going to be a huge reception. But to see Anderson and Broad for one last time, it might be on day 4, it might go into day 5. It's going to be a special place. I was there for Alistair Cook's last Test match when he got his 100. That was fantastic. But you get a sense tomorrow it's against Australia. This crowd are going to be raucous anyway. But to think it's going to be Stuart's last day in an England jersey, potentially, it's going to be special.
Your happiest moment watching Stuart Broad in an England shirt over the years?
8 for 15. He's just told the story on the radio. He just said, I never thought I'd be able to say that I got 8 for 15 against Australia, and I'd be having a cup of tea by 1:45, watching Adam live strike a 4 in the first over of England batting with all his friends and family. You always look at signs, and Stuart's got all his family here today. Everyone's here from the Broad family, which is great. They obviously have been told, and they're going to come and watch him. You get a bit emotional because you want to, see Stuart and Jimmy bowl forever and ever. But I like the way he's done it. I like the way he's done it. He told the skipper and the coach last night. He let the players know today. And he goes out with a reception. Sometimes players just retire after a series, and I think the England fans deserve that right to give Stuart a proper send-off. And knowing Stuart Broad, he has written his own script against Australia a few times. It wouldn't surprise me if he finishes with a 5. He'll certainly finish with David Warner's wicket. I can pretty much guarantee that. And he'll probably get a 5 and this place will be rocking tomorrow.
On today's play, England batted at a run rate of better than 5 and over from the outset. Their deficit of 12 was gone within and over. The partnership between Crawley and Duckett got them going in the right direction. Their masterful batsmanship from Root in the middle session. But just to drill down a little bit on Crawley as the opener, he almost played the secondary role early on today. Then he was flawless, and he helps them lay that foundation to make sure that it'll be Australia chasing leather through the afternoon.
Yeah, I thought England played great. They're quickly becoming, you can tell me, Colo, a more entertaining team that's ever played Test match cricket. I'm sure there's one or two that can be obviously challenging this England side, but you get a sense that people are coming through the gates. The hospitality suites, they're on the balconies watching because England are batting. They are a brilliant cricket team to watch. Yes, they're not winning the Ashes, they're not going to get the urn on Sunday or Monday, but I think in terms of entertainment, this England Test team are probably the most entertaining. And a lot of people will go, "Oh, shut up, Vaughanie, they haven't won." I get that. They made mistakes at the start of the series, and they made glaring mistakes on Test 1 and 2. But in terms of entertainment, of what you get for value, in terms of your ticket, this England side give you great value.
Batting with his old mucker, Johnny Bairstow, putting on 110. He probably threw away an opportunity to make an Ashes 100 in England at the last time of asking. But again, just that momentum. And Australia, to be fair to them, they fought back well. Stark conceded 22 runs from 2 overs off the top, finishes with 4 for. Murphy went around before lunch, albeit bowling pretty well. Crawley got on top of him, comes back and takes 3. Could have taken 4 or 5 if not for DRS not going his way. In Murphy, they have Australia's next major spinner, and in Stark, they've had a champion for a decade.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something about Murphy that's going to he's going to serve Australian cricket very nicely for many, many years. I just think he's got a little bit of that edge. Yeah. You know, that whatever it is inside you that you need personally to have confidence in yourself, he's got it. So he's going to be a really good player for Australia going forward.
In the hot spot, we've already touched on Zach Crawley, but that opening partnership, I mean, for so long, Vaughanie, they've been looking for something that was sustainable for England, probably since that retirement of Alistair Cook here. If you want to take a longer lens, all the way back to when Andrew Strauss called it quits in 2012, a pair they can depend on and rely on for the long term. But the way they're changing the game, the way they're betting together, the strike rates they're going at, if it's sustainable here against the moving ball, against an attack like Australia's, they've nearly made 1,000 runs together now, Crawley and Duckett. They can take the show on the road as well.
Yeah, and also the combination is one that many other teams might look to follow. You've got one huge chap in Zach Crawley batting right-handed and one miniature in Ben Duckett batting left-handed. So the lengths that the bowlers have to change, and when you're spreading the field and they're easily getting 1s and 2s and rotating the strikes, so the bowlers aren't getting to bowl to Zach Crawley often for 6 balls. It's generally 2 or 3, then you're bowling to Ben Duckett. And not just the line because it's left hand, right hand, but the length difference, probably 3 or 4 yards in terms of length difference for either batter. So I'll be intrigued to ask the Aussies after the series how hard it was to bowl to those two because of the different kind of skill levels that they produce. Quality players, I mean. Yep. You know, they just play quality cricket strokes. They play the cut shots, they play the flicks, they play the drives down the ground, they've got the pull shots in the locker. Of course, they play the odd shot that you go, you know, what you're doing, can't you just leave 1 or 2? But it's just the way that they've committed to playing. And I think they are getting helped by this Duke ball. The Duke ball's not doing anything like what it used to do in 2016, 17, 18, 19, when the ball just did so much. And playing the way that England play now, I don't think it would have been possible against that old Duke ball. So I think this Duke ball in the last 2 years has probably helped England play this way. They commit to it, and when you get a combination at the top, it's about setting the tone. If you can have a combination that walk out there and they set the tone for you, and in the style that you want to play, you're in for some good times. And when you get on, you know, flatter wickets, even flatter than we've seen here, then the pitches have been good overseas. This England side are going to take some stopping.
All right, Vaughanie, let's press fast forward before we go. Fast forward, it's going to be a big chase for Australia, but on a surface that feels like it should lend itself to that. They're going to be up against James Anderson as well. That presents an intriguing possibility. Might he walk off into the sunset with Stuart Broad? Might it depend on the result when this test match ends? I mean, your gut feel at this stage?
Oh, Jimmy Anderson will carry on. I'm pretty sure of that. I think he'll offer his services for England for at least another year. Whether England say, yeah, we're going to take you on another central contract, we'll have to wait and see. Whether Stuart Broad retiring will trigger Jimmy into thinking, should I go as well? Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. One thing's for sure is we're in for an epic last innings of the Ashes. The Ashes this year has been incredible. You know, every single day there's been something happening. Something else will happen. Something will happen. A Smith 100 or a Labuschagne 100 or a Travis Head will be whacking it to all parts, or Mitchell Marsh. I don't think it's a 250 all-out wicket now. You know, Australia chasing 380. I think they've got a sniff. They've got a sniff if they play with a mindset of positivity. England should win because Test cricket history tells you that England should win because it's a lot of runs to chase. But I just think because they've got this target and they know they've just got to go for that target rather than think time and attritional and try and get potentially a draw, it might just help Australia play that little bit better.
A tantalising finish in the offing here at the Oval tomorrow. Cricbuzz Chatter will be there for it all, and the retirement of Stuart Broad. Bye for now.